All right, guys, we've got a little surprise going on. I had ordered Andrew a Christmas present. I got the call yesterday to say there is a different one here. We've said yes to it, or I've said yes to it, paid the money, so we're going to go surprise him with it. So let's go get a rag to start with out of the rag bin as his blindfold, because he has no idea what's going on. Your Christmas present's arrived. Okay. We've got to go pick it up.
Okay.
You got to chuck a blindfold on. I got it out of the rag bin, I'm sorry. You got to get out now. We're going to walk inside. Let's go. Yep. All right, take your blindfold off. All right, show us what's under it.
Oh, sick. Cool. Ranger. Where's my jet ski?
All right, guys, Bryony and Andrew here from Accelerate Off-Grid Touring. Andrew got a nice little Christmas present. What'd you get, Andrew?
Superduty.
The Ford Ranger Superduty. It was one of the first ones into Australia and out for sale. It's now a month on, or about a month on, and we're going to give our little bit of thoughts and feedbacks planned for the build, because we're going to do a build series video on this, and why we think these cars are pretty cool.
Yes, I wasn't supposed to put a canopy on until we'd done this video, but I kind of did it.
All right, so Ford Superduty is a bit of a hot topic at the moment. Reasons why, I think personally, from what I'm seeing, is the GVM, GCM towing capacity, that sort of thing. So Andrew, do you want to run us through some of the stats? You love it.
I think everybody knows the stats. It's 4.5 ton, like at GVM, so it means it can weigh 4.5 ton, up a ton from a Ranger. Its GCM can be 8 ton, so gross combined mass, so that means caravan and car can be 8 ton in total or just under. And then you can tow 4.5 ton, but obviously that means your Ranger's got to weigh under 3.5 ton. But yeah, so nothing else really out there that can do what this can do on paper at all, in that size.
From factory.
From factory, yeah. Well, even, yeah.
Yeah. In a car as well.
In a car,
yeah. On a car license. As people that have come out of a truck, it's probably on a car license is the big one into there. So the old Ford Ranger in the next gen and the PX, what were the towing capacities, stats around that, and why is this better? It's like an extra.
I didn't know that question was coming. I don't know. 3.5 ton towing was the main one, and definitely the payload in Rangers always struggled. I don't know the number, but it was always a thing.
And so I think for this point, let's drop in their price as well, because this car, as it sits here, or sorry, without the canopy on it, from factory, from where we rolled it out of Ford, what price point was it at?
I think we got it for 95 grand.
Yeah, so didn't know his Christmas present price, but $95,000. So we're going to roughly compare that to a 300 Series LandCruiser, which from factory, I'm going to say, I don't actually know what a GX is worth these days, but I'm going to say upwards of 100 grand. And what's the towing capacity on that?
Yeah, so 3.5 ton.
So 3.5 ton.
I didn't know that question was coming. I actually think putting this beside a 79 is probably a better comparison.
Compare it to 79.
And just crazy difference in price. Same purchase price, but where this comes versus where there's 79. And like I've had a 79, like I don't know, those that know me, I used to have a Call converted Kings, everything 79. This drives better, and this is probably 100 grand cheaper to get it to the point mine was.
Cool.
In the 79.
So what has this got then from factory that a 79 doesn't, that you would have to add into a 79? What have you?
Where do you start? Mirrors that you can see out of, seats that you can sit in.
So are your mirrors?
We got big mirrors. Those, yeah, they're power fold.
Yeah,
they're a bit narrow for if you had a big van, but they're fine for what we've got. But I definitely think if you're putting a big van in, you're going to have to go wider. But 79 mirrors, like they're obviously horrendous. Seats that you can comfortably sit in, aircon that works in the back seat, screen that you can see on the dash.
It's got Apple CarPlay.
It's got Apple CarPlay. It's got cruise control. I don't know. Just where do you start?
Is it got lane assist? I actually haven't driven it that much.
Yeah, it's got total lane assist, auto braking stuff, and everything.
So it's got auto cruise control.
1,000 times better than the Prado. It doesn't tell me to look at the road.
So we've got a 250 Series Prado as well. Andrew prefers it because it doesn't beep and vibrate. So you look at the road.
Constantly tells me to look at the road.
And so this is also set up for towing already with trailer plugs and that sort of thing. What's on there?
It's already got a brake controller. It's already got decent mirrors for towing if it's not too big and not too long and not too wide. It's already got pretty much the suspension that's going to handle the ball weight.
So it's got a 7-pin trailer plug and brake controller on it.
I reckon it's got 12.
Got a 12. Okay,
I
cool.
should bloody know. It's got a 12.
So there's, I don't know, there's a couple of grand you're looking at there sort of
Easy.
thing for upgrades.
Yep.
Anything else that stands out compared to a 79?
It's comfortable, it fits. I don't know, just a lot. I definitely think it's way better than the 79 after having both. Yeah.
And what tow?
Now that a 79 is not a V8 too.
What tow capacity does a 79 have?
3.5.
3.5. So everything's 3.5. So it's the only 4.5 ton.
Yep.
From factory. Cool.
Yep, but it's already lifted. It's already got decent sized wheels, even though they're ugly and we're all waiting for new wheels. And yeah.
Snorkel.
Snorkel. Mine came with a snorkel. How good.
Bull bar-ish.
Yeah, it's kind of, they say I'll call it steel bumper, but
Yeah.
it seems to be all right. I've already hit something.
You can mount things onto it? Is there mounting points on it?
Yeah.
Great.
The designers behind the camera and we both just sort of went, we're trying to come up with a solution there. Yes, there's steel under there, but it's kind of all rolly and it's all a bit, we'll see what the aftermarket comes out with. But
There's no bull bars or anything available for it at
yes,
the moment?
100%. You can get ARB summer bars and so forth. Everybody's punching out bull bars, but the current existing thing, it's kind of like you should be able to mount to it, but there's kind of, it's all a bit funny shapes and we'll see what people come up with.
Cool. So if you had your time again and were travelling Australia, would you buy a Super Duty to do it in?
No.
What would you get?
A Suzu MPS truck like we
Okay,
did.
so you'd still go in a truck.
If I didn't have 3 kids and I didn't want a 700-800 kilo boat on the roof, then Super Duty, definitely. And I didn't want to do a giant American truck, then definitely Super Duty. But for us, probably I still would do with what we did. But it was all about the boat.
If it was just a couple?
It was a
Duty.
couple and I didn't want a boat and I was just towing a normal van that was, that 3.5, 4 ton normal people, then yeah, I'd be Super Duty all day at the moment.
So then comparing it to a 300 series, that's what we see most here through our workshop in particular. What's your thoughts on how it stacks up if we've got to do a levels upgrade to get it to 4 ton?
Oh, I'm sorry. Again, I didn't know this one was coming. I think this is probably cheaper and maybe a better tow solution if you're only using the front seats. And I'll be a canopy always for touring. I think a canopy over a wagon all day, every day. It's just so much more. We spend all day trying to turn wagons into canopies for people with drawers and fridges, and I'd just be a canopy. So I'd be a Super Duty, but yeah. The ride in a 300's way, way, way better.
Yeah.
And probably a much more comfortable vehicle up front, but I'd be a canopy if I was touring.
Yeah, I do agree. The canopy makes a difference, kind of thing. Having your kitchen, your fridge and everything in that sort of space is just easier, and storage and wet stuff and that sort of thing. Not having to have it in a car, a wagon is so much easier.
We go up the beach a lot too, so it's aluminium. You can throw salty towels in it.
So I think the 300 series is more of a city, more refined driving experience is your other option. An NPS truck, which we've had as well, is another option. You've got more capacity to put things on the truck, like boats and that sort of thing, but it's a lot more, you're going on an adventure driving experience is what I call it. It's an uncomfortable driving experience, but we did it for 2 years, so it's totally fine. And then going back to 79 series, you've got to, I guess, like the 300 series and the NPS, your budget to get it to a touring vehicle is probably a lot higher than what it's going to be with this, is kind of where we're rating it all, from everything in between.
I reckon you do a mint one of these for like 150 and 79 you're 200 all day.
More,
yeah. Easy.
200, 79, 200, 300 series, even like a chopped 300 series to get it into a ute, you'd be 300 grand sort of thing. So we think it is a really good option. So what makes this able to have all the higher GCMs, GVMs and that sort of thing? What is it about this car? What have Ford done?
F-150 chassis, a transit diff and F-250 hubs, I reckon, is everything about it. That's the main thing. So I don't think any other manufacturer can make anything like this at the moment, because no one's really got that stable of vehicles that they can just sort of, I guess, Frankenstein into one. So yeah, it's an F-150 chassis, and then they've whacked a next-gen body on it and stuck some F-250 stuff on it, and where they go.
Cool.
So it's kind of pretty cool. Nothing is really new, if that makes sense. So hopefully, no teething issues.
What do you think it's going to compete with the American truck market? What's your thoughts on that?
Nah, well, I think if you're in Chevy land, then you're in Chevy land. It means you got over $250,000 to spend on something sick and baller, and yeah, I think as Chevy trucks are different. I think this is way more. This is like your normal family that's doing it in a Ranger, doing it, you know, like 90% of people we met traveling that are doing it normal. This is just a much safer, better, legal solution to the ones all pushing the limits out there at the moment.
All right, next one is this. What model is this? It's a Super Duty. It's not an XLT. That's to come. That was my question.
I don't even know. It's the one.
Anyway, it's the, let's call it the base level that
Yep.
is out at the moment. The XLT is due to come mid-year. Any thoughts on the XLT,
Seat
even though we
warmers.
haven't seen it?
Apparently, it's going to come with seat warmers.
So it's just a little bit more luxury. So this doesn't have
And
carpet.
carpet.
It's more of a, I think it's aimed at the commercial market kind of thing, as well as
This
touring,
one,
but
yeah.
it is heavily aimed at commercial in Australia, so it doesn't have all those sort of upgraded things that you'd probably want when touring. I don't know if pricing's available on that, but
I imagine the electronics will be more unlocked in the XLT, but you can probably get that done with this with a 4Scan anyway, unlocking some of the features on the CarPlay side of it. But yeah, seat warmers. I'm happy with the vinyl floor. It doesn't worry me. Just
it's got AdBlue, is the other thing to note.
yep.
I think it's getting pretty common now with all the diesel cars. Cool, all right, we're gonna run through some of the plans for it. So it came to us as a chassis.
Yeah, you just get it as a cab chassis. We picked it up, cab chassis. Legally put a pallet on it with some mud flaps. It drove terribly with no weight on it. As soon as Liam and I went over the very first bump coming out of the driveway.
You drove 500 metres down
Anyway.
Sugar Road to here.
First bump, we were like, oh my God, but the minute we put some weight on it, it was fine. And so that's probably one thing. You can't just buy one and drive one. It's probably a good point. You've got to put something on the back. It comes trailers, which is completely unroadworthy because there's no mud flaps really is the main thing.
So shameless plug, Ford will deliver it to here and we can put a canopy on it for you.
We can do this.
So it came to us as a
Yeah,
came to us as a cab
all I've
chassis.
really done so far is put a canopy on it, which was
So that'll
just
be, this is build one video, build two will be the canopy going on, which is
not on
surprise,
yet.
it's already on. So that'll be that, and then we'll go through probably all the other upgrades. So we're going to do electrical system, fridge fit out, kitchen, that sort of thing as well. So let's go through what your plans are. So canopy, brand, surprise.
So it's Terralim Canopy. We've got a relationship with Dan, a few other canopy manufacturers, but it just so happened I had one at the time to go on.
Yep.
So it's been good.
So you're going to do rooftop tent, surprise, it's on. Who are you going with?
So it's a bush to beach rooftop tent.
Beach to
Beach.
bush. Get that wrong.
Sorry, Scott. Yeah, here you go.
Beach to bush.
That was my Christmas present from him.
Rooftop tent and awning.
Awning's yet to make it on.
His work on his 79, so nice relationship there with them.
Yep.
If you need a rooftop tent, we think they're great.
Or chairs, or rooftop tent, or awning, or about a million other things he does.
And then other plans with it, fit out inside. We're going to do one of our canopy boxes, and then kitchen sort of set up on one side.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't even dealt with that yet. Haven't even ordered a fridge for it.
Anything else? Wheels, tyres?
Wheels, tyres, I'll wait and see. There's still nothing come out specifically for them at the time of this video that I've found. Obviously, a lot of F250 wheels, but they've probably just got a bit too much poke for my conservative liking. Poke sticks out too much. Yep, that's the term. So the offset, they're still manufacturing the offset, Jacob, like that. They're coming. Everybody's got to be racing to get to that. So we'll do wheels and tyres. I'll have to do rear springs. Okay, so here's something. It has sagged a bit. We've just put a tent and a canopy on the back. I don't know if you can see if it's showing up. It's definitely like come down a bit at the back, and I know once I put the rest in, it's going to come down further. So, and I know the other Terralume Super Duty that has got more stuff on it than mine actually got the leaves on the rear reset. So I've rang all our suspension suppliers. No one's got rear springs for it yet. So I think I'll probably get them reset in the next couple of weeks. I haven't talked to Bryony about that. But it is definitely, that's going to be a thing. And the two airbag suppliers we deal with, Airbag Man and Boss, they don't have a airbag to suit yet either. I think it's caught everybody unaware of that bit.
So let's just go into that. The curb weight of this is 2.675. How
Yep.
much does your canopy weigh?
I think
350
350,
kilos.
400.
Yeah, 10.
100.
And then awning.
Awning was 20. So it was 30.
Almost
so
500.
yeah, we probably put
Just
500
under
kilos.
500
I'm easily
kilos
going
on
to
it.
put another 100, 200 in it, in stuff,
Yeah.
kitchen and batteries and stuff.
So we're easily going to be sitting up at that 400, that 4 ton.
Yep.
Pretty much. Yeah. So then it's only leaving you 4 ton to tow.
2.6.
For when we get
no,
a man.
3 ton. 267.
Yeah. So it's sitting now
Sorry.
as it sits at 3.2
Oh, okay, yeah,
thereabouts,
cool.
and we're going to go kitchen, people in it,
3.5
that sort of
maybe.
thing. Well, when you put people in it and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
4 ton, and then that
They're
gives you
huge.
4 ton to tow as well. I think that's about it for this one.
Okay.
Sorry, honest feedback on what do you think it's like to drive?
I really like it. So I am probably a bit of a special animal. I drive everything, as in just sold a 300 that was everything on it, pretty much. The J-Max with the 4 inches and 35s. I've had coiled 79s. My last tourer was an Isuzu NPS truck. Oh my God, this is 1,000 times easier to drive. And I really like it. I feel like I get almost the benefits of the truck and the 79 without the chaos of having to find special car parks. I fit everywhere. I'm not worried about heights like I was in the 79. I think it's really good, and it's got all-around reversing pictures, sensors, and I really like it, other than seat warmers. And that's my biggest complaint. So that's really just being
We've had
pretentious.
PX Rangers and that sort of thing. We've got
I've
a
had a-
Prado 250, so it sort of
Had a
drives more
PX1
similar
and
to
a
that.
PX2. Hate the Prado. So yeah, I think it's really, really good.
And size-wise, as far as around town, it's more that
just
Prado
normal.
size as opposed to a 300 size with suspension and lift on it kind of thing.
Yeah, I
think.
don't know. It's just easy to deal
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
It's really easy car to deal with. And it's understated. I don't get people looking at me, which is cool.
I'm also going to say on the wagons going this, other than the obvious upgrades, you're also not getting luxury car tax because it's a commercial vehicle. So you're saving like 33% there in luxury car tax. It's a commercial vehicle, so there's lots of other, I think, financial benefits
Yep.
to it as well. Cool. All right, I think that's about it for this one. Let's roll through and stay tuned for build number 2 that will be coming up probably very shortly. If you want to watch the full build series on YouTube, you can watch it up here, and then check out some of our other vehicle builds down here.
Accelerate off-grid touring, powering your adventures.